Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona. It's time for opening ceremonies. We're going to turn our attention now down to that victory podium, and we'll start things off with the folks from back on track. Jackie Mitchell is down there with Ronnie Jones, and also Kristen Beats got the microphone. Kristen, take it away.
Hey guys, welcome to Daytona, and I'm down here with the guys from back on track, legends in their own right. Even Johnny Lewis here in the shot with us. We'll get to that in a moment. But we've got Ronnie Jones, also Jackie Mitchell from Back on Track, and you guys are auctioning off some amazing items to help support the charity tonight. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we are. We've got some great partners. Arise, one of those partners, and they've donated a Nikki Hayden reset helmet that you'll see some girls walking around in the grandstand tonight selling raffle tickets. We'll pull the winner for that helmet later tonight. You can come by and see us over at the tent, under the Back on Track tent. We've got an Indian FTR 1200 that we're going to be drawing in about 10 days. So be sure and get your tickets for that, for a chance to win that motorcycle. And we've also got an announcement to make. Johnny Lewis is over here to my right, and I want to let him explain to you. We've got another new partner for the charity, and we want to thank him, so here he is.
Johnny, a huge announcement here tonight. So tell us more about what's going on with Royal Enfield.
Oh, it's just, it's been a great week down here with the guys, and these last couple weeks we've been talking a little bit and trying to do more initiatives. Now that I'm not racing, I want to be part of the Back on Track a little bit more, so we decided to donate the FT 450 base. It's the Scram 411 that we use, and we've taught over 3,000 people globally on these motorcycles how to flat track. So in a little conversion, but the stock trim we're donating, and we're also donating 2 slide schools this season as well. So we're really excited to be partnering with Back on Track this year, Royal Enfield sponsoring the event, and trying to grow flat track racing.
And such a charitable donation. Thank you so much to everyone at Royal Enfield, also Johnny Lewis. But Mr. Jackie Mitchell, tell me about where these raffle tickets go towards, and about Back on Track and the charity, and how it supports riders from the American Flat Track Series.
Well, we've been doing it since 2009, and during that time we've distributed, we think, right at $2 million worth of benevolence. And so it's been significant. Last night, as we know, we had some of the ladies fall off, and so we'll be able to support them and anyone else that has. And we also help the amateur racers throughout the country in flat track. So it's really important that everyone supports us. Of course, everyone, it's always asked for money, but 100% of the funds goes to injured racers. And we have some wonderful sponsors that takes care of our overhead. So again, your money means everything to us, and that's what keeps the motor running. So we appreciate you. The Daytona fans are always some of the best that we meet. And again, I want to thank Johnny for his grace and Royal Enfield, and we're going to do some neat projects with him going forward. He's a great racer, a great businessman, an entrepreneur, and we're going to have fun with him.
Thank you guys so much. And again, if you want to purchase tickets, the gals will be walking around here at the live event, but also back-on-track.com. You guys can purchase those tickets at home. Make sure you contribute to the charity in one way or another. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kristen. And Back on Track is the official charity of Progressive American Flat Track. Buy some raffle tickets, support the cause. Tonight's raffle is that brand new Arai Nikki Hayden reset helmet. And there's a look at the Royal Enfield that was just donated here tonight. We'll figure out when that will be given away a little bit later on. Thanks to Royal Enfield for being a huge part of Back on Track. And now let's shift gears as they move that motorcycle out of the middle of the racetrack. We got, looks like Adrian Sellers is here from Royal Enfield, which is our title sponsor of tonight's event, the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona, and he is caught up with Kristen Beat.
Thanks so much, Scotty. Incredible night for Royal Enfield. Not only did you sponsor the season opener, but also the second head of this double header. What are you making of all the excitement here in Daytona?
Well, Daytona is just an incredible event. We've been coming for a couple of years now and sponsoring since last year. So we're really honored to be part of the flat tracking community here. And hopefully by sponsoring the event, giving back a little bit, we can share the love.
Creating an incredible community of two-wheel racing. The Build Train Race girls have put on a show not only this past season, but in seasons past as well. It's an incredible program to follow. How proud are you of that, to see the progression in the sport in that space?
Incredibly proud. I mean, the women are just extraordinary year on year. The racing gets tighter. We're seeing the women joining our slide schools as well. They're getting better, not just here, but going out, learning more, and coming back to the track each race, getting even better with each time on the track.
For those who aren't familiar with Slide School, what is that? How can we become a part of it?
Slide School is a global program. of learning how to flat track. We make some of the most accessible motorcycles out there, and so we wanted to share that in motorsport as well. Flat track is by far one of the most accessible grassroots types of motorsport. So we're just trying to share that love around the world. We've got schools in Italy, Thailand, India, Netherlands, the UK, of course here in the US with Johnny and Moto Anatomy. And so, yeah, we just want to share that love like we're trying to do here, but globally as well. Flat track's an amazing sport.
It is, and you're making riding more accessible, so thank you for all of your contributions to the sport.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
That was Adrian Sellers from Royal Enfield. Up next, we're going to shift gears and bring up our Grand Marshal. He was out signing autographs earlier today. He's got a new event starting later on this season called Bike Fest. You know him from American Choppers. Your Grand Marshal is Paul Jr.
Paul, a huge fan here in Daytona, not only to support you, but also the show and everything that you're a part of. Tell me about what you've been getting into.
Oh man, I have so much going on. Still building bikes, building cars. And you know, I've been coming to Daytona for over 25 years, and this is the first time I've been at the flat track races, and I'm super excited about it.
What makes it exciting to you?
You know, I'm telling you, the dirt, you know, the different heats, I was very impressed with it. The 750 class was blowing my mind. Just really cool.
It is very cool. You said it perfectly. Thanks so much for being our Grand Marshal and gracing us with your presence here tonight, Paul. I'm sure my dad's at home watching, and he's a big fan of the show, so give him a wave.
That was your Grand Marshal, Paul Jr. from American Choppers. And he is also putting on a new event up in Pennsylvania later this year. It's called Bike Fest. Keep in mind we're playing commercials on that throughout the evening. All right, it is time for the rider intros. It's going to be the top three in the point standings, which means it's the top three from last night. We are going to start in the AFT singles class. Ladies and gentlemen, from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, riding the Parts Bros D&D cycle on the KTM, coming out of the pit area, number 79, Dalton Gauthier. Make some noise for him. He went for the win last night. Dalton Gauthier in that 79 KTM. Up next from Australia, Monster Energy Estenson Racing Yamaha, the number 59. It is Tom Drain. Up next is your points leader. He's won 4 of the last 5 races here at Daytona. Riding for Bob Lanphier KTM out of Micah, Washington. The winningest rider in AFT singles history. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Hot Rod Cody Cobb.
Hey, my friend, now it's time to make a move. The card has been set up now. The decision's up to you.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, from Wynn, Michigan, this is the J&M Logging Races Harley-Davidson entry. 40 years old, number 911, Henry Wiles. King Henry on the Kawasaki. He is the king of Peoria. He wants to have some fun with you fans out here tonight. He wants to win the short track at Daytona. It's King Henry. Up next from Salinas, California, the Rick Ware Racing Parts Plus Harley Davidson, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, led the first 22 laps last night. It is Briar Bauman. Bauman riding the Harley Davidson, led the first 22 laps last night, came up 5 laps short of picking up the win here at the Daytona Flat Track. He's on board the XG 750 Harley Davidson, number 3, Briar Bauman. And the final rider in the rider introductions. He's won 4 out of the last 5 here at the Daytona Flat Track. Riding for Estenson Racing, Yamaha Racing, and Monster Energy from Mattoon, Illinois, the number 32, Dallas Daniels. Daniels finished on the podium at every single race last year. He missed 3 rounds with a broken femur. He was a contender for the championship. He knows his way around the track. Make some noise where he wants to hear from you. 32, Dallas Daniels.
Hey, my friend, you better hear my advice, 'cause you ain't got no good plan. Gonna make that mistake twice.
That was the top 3 in the point standings from the AFT singles class and the Mission Super Twins class.
Hey, my friend, you've been there before. She's gonna rip up your heart and kick you out that door.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, let's focus our attention back to that front straightaway to wrap up our opening ceremonies. Please welcome our color guard. It's the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Navy ROTC to present our colors. Would you please rise if you're able? Here for our tonight's invocation from Motor Racing Outreach, please welcome our chaplain, Raymond Rizzo.
Thank you, Scotty. Let's pray. Our loving Heavenly Father, what a beautiful night that you've created, and we stand humbly to say thank you. All of our racing community appreciate all of your blessings, seen and unseen. We're thankful for all of our racers, so we ask tonight that you would help to keep them safe from all harm. And not only for them, but for everyone around this facility. We're thankful for each and every one. Father, for the fans as well, we pray they'll have a wonderful time tonight here and a safe travels home. And not only for them, but again, we're so grateful for everyone serving in our military all around the world. We pray that you keep them safe, give them courage and strength. And we also thank you for our leadership in our country, and we ask that you'd bless them, lead them, guide them, and may there be a spirit of unity all around this world. And we love you and thank you in Jesus' name. And everyone said, amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you, Raymond. Please remain standing and welcome Melissa Trumbull for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much. That was Melissa Trumbull, and that is it for opening ceremonies down there at the start-finish line. We'll clear the infield now and get ready for heat race number 1. I'm Scotty Dubler up here in the booth. We just met Kristen Beat, and joining me in the booth is your 2017 AFT Singles Champ, Colby Carlisle. Colby, it's night number 2. Are you ready?
It is round number 2 here in Daytona, and I am getting so excited for us to start the racing tonight. Man, what a night we had last night, but tonight's shaping up to be even better. Heat race 1, it's our lineup from the main event last night. The front row is our front row from last night's main event.
A lot of fast contenders in this front row, and who's going to beat Cody Kopp? I mean, he's fastest in each round of practice and qualifying today. That's bad news for everybody else.
Yeah, nobody wants to let Cody Kopp show up here and do these 2 races. All we know right now is he's doing these 2 races. Nobody wants to let him show up, win both of them, and leave on that note.
Yeah, and Cody Kopp's got Tom Drain, Dalton Gauthier, Terrence Santero. Like you just said, the front row of last night's main event is on the front row of heat race number 1. That means only 2 of them will be on the front row of the main event.
Absolutely, and there's only 2 spots available for that First Impressions Challenge coming up here, so we're going to have to see who they take.
They're taking that siding lap right now. That's very important because they packed the track in. They had that wheel packer going across the track. They watered it. They packed it back in. It's like starting from scratch.
Yeah, so I walked out there and I checked the track out myself. They did get the grader out there to try to smooth it all out. It still has those shelf bumps. That's what some of the riders are calling it, the shelves coming into the corner. It sounds like a shelf because it's like a stepping stone down. Not only is the track still smooth, but your front end bounces up and down.
Heat race number 1 on the track. It's AFT Singles presented by Kicker. We just talked about it. Cody Kopp, Tom Drain, 79 Dalton Gauthier, 75 is Santero. That's your front row from last night's main event. They're in the front row of heat race number 1 after qualifying. Row 2, 24 Hunter Bauer, 49 Chad Coast, 55 Tyler Raggio, 46 Reese Podorf. Row 3, 15 Justin Anselmi, 57 Ian Wolf, 94 is Ryan Wells, 56 Jordan Jean, and row 4, 42 McLean Drucker, 28 Landon Kowzak, 43 Jacob Vandecoin, the 249 Skylar Sintel. We'll take the top 6 directly to the main event. 8 laps the distance. 10-second board, it's up. It's time to go racing. Night number 2 at the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona. Bikes are in gear. Watching the Christmas tree. Lights turn green. Kopp on the inside will lead him into the first corner.
Kopp grabs the whole shot going into 1 here for heat race 1. Tom Drain trying to get up the inside, but Kopp's holding an extremely tight line down the back straightaway here.
Gauthier slides into 3rd. Santero's in 4th. He's got company up the inside. It is Cody Kopp. He's running the very bottom of the racetrack. Nobody has done that here today.
No, and the track's a little bit smoother right now. They just did all that track work, so Cody Kopp's utilizing the bottom line. The track's a little bit more slippery from what I've heard. It's a different kind of slippery tonight, a little more dusty, but the track's completely fresh right now.
So a little bit drier, slippery. I think they did put some moisture on the racetrack after qualifying. Drain slips a little bit wide. Here comes Gauthier in the 79.
Yeah, and Cody Kopp doing that thing where he likes to check out multiple lines there. He was a little bit higher in the center of turns 3 and 4 there, but they did make straightaways in the corners, so you are having to adjust. The shape of the track is different tonight than last night.
Looked like Tom Drain's back wheel just bounced off the back straightaway wall. On the move is the 49. That's Chad Coase. He is now up to the 4th position. He's got company coming around the outside. We're up front at the leader right now. Cody Kopp, a little bit of a gap. There goes the 59. Kopp on cruise control in the lead.
Right now, this running order is how they finished in the main event last night. We've got the 55 of Raggio in 4th place, and Chad Coase last night had that little incident in the middle of the main event. Ryan Wells holding down our 6th and final transfer spot out of the heat race, doing a phenomenal job here.
It seems like the 49 and the 94 were magnets on the racetrack all season last year. I know Wells was missing in action quite a bit, but the 49 and 94 really good friends. They both spend a lot of time down here in Florida. Now they're in the final 2 transfer spots.
Yeah, absolutely. And one rider that is missing out there, Santero, all the way back to 14th from the front row. Not sure what's going on there, but Chad Coase looking up the inside of Raggio here, trying to size him up to get that 3rd spot and getting the first pick on the 2nd row in the main event.
It'd be a little bit more important if he could get that position away from Raggio. Raggio holding a smooth line on the 55.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Wells there starting to creep up on the back of Ryan Wells as the Waters Auto Body Racing. 15 of Justin Anselmi.
Anselmi from Lodi, California. He's got a ride now for the Waters Auto Body team, and he's trying to prove that he is worthy of that ride. He needs to get one more spot to go directly to the main event.
Yeah, and Raggio's getting a little breathing room there with Chad Coase, but Justin Anselmi right on the back. We've got 1 lap to go with Cody Kopp out front by almost 2 seconds now. Gauthier in 3rd with Drain in 2nd. Cody Kopp bringing us down the back straightaway here, making it look easy just like he did last night. He's got this place figured out.
Almost a 2-second lead off the final corner. Checker flags coming out for the 3-time champ. Last night's winner, Cody Kopp, will win heat race number 1. Who's going to finish up second? It's going to be Drain on the 59. Gautier gets that 3rd spot. There is Raggio 4th, followed by the few more riders. And Selmy almost got that final spot coming to the line. As Santero way at the back, Colby.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Santero there, but unfortunate to go from the front row all the way and finish in 14th here in heat race 1. He's going to have to come through the LCQ.
Any surprises for you in the first heat?
It's going to be a good night. They're going to have to figure out something to do with Cody Kopp. Cody Kopp is on a mission right now.
All right, let's check in with Kristen Beed. She is with last night's winner and heat race number 1 winner, Cody Kopp.
And the defending 2024 champion, Cody. We talk about this track being slick, but a different kind of slick than you guys battled last night. Can you describe it for me?
I mean, I was out front and I was having to pull tear-offs. That's just how wet it was, so off my own front wheel. So it's just kind of that ocean water. I think we're so low elevation, it's just coming up through the ground, but it's fun. It's a little better than it's been all day, I think, right now, and that's not the best I've felt, so we're going to go back and do a little bit, and we'll be better.
Thanks so much, Cody. And guys, when he talks about pulling tear-offs, mind you, this track is a short track. You're always turning here. So imagine lifting a hand off the handlebar to pull a tear-off to clear that vision. Guys, there's a lot going on out there. That is a busy track.
It is very hard to do that short. The straightaways is so short. You got to reach up really quick and pull it off and get your hand back on the handlebar.
Yeah, it's second nature to a lot of us riders, though. You know, we just able to do it. We honestly don't even think about it sometimes. But on a short track like this, with how rough it is, there's times where you got to do it to get it done.
Heat race number 2, Chase Sadoff took the wild ride on the back straightaway earlier today. He'll be on the pole in the 88 Rick Ware Racing Parts Plus Honda. He's from Hillsborough, Illinois. 65, Evan Renshaw, Kinzers, Pennsylvania on the First Impressions Husqvarna. 63, Jared Lowe, Guilford, Indiana on the Big R Racing Honda. The 83, Braden Fanders doing it for Hannum's Harley Davidson. He's from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, KTM. Row 2, 137, Colby Gomery. 26, Aiden Rusevens. 21, Trevor Bruner. 31, Evan Kelleher. Row 3, 278, Matt Beland. 132, Bronson Pierce. 105, Ethan Kitchen. And the 87, Landon Smith. And the back row, 225, Tyler Cunningham. The 40 bike, Olin Kistler. Tyler's twin brothers, Dylan Cunningham on the 252. And the 110, Dominic DeMario making it into the show. He was the final qualifier, 32nd. 2 riders went home today.
Yeah, and we've got Chase Sadoff sitting on pole right now. Had a pretty big get off early on in the day today during qualifying. Ended up getting next into Trevor Bruner down the back straightaway after they got sideways. I talked to him earlier. He's fine. He's feeling good. He's ready to go on for the night show.
Bruner's going to start back there in that second row. Again, the top 6 going directly out of the heat race into the main event. It is heat race number 2. AFT singles class presented by Kicker Performance Audio. 10-second board is up. When it goes sideways, she will exit the racetrack. The bikes will go into gear. Shields are down. Watching for the top 6 going directly to the main event. That's very important. The top 2 going to the First Impressions Challenge race. Light is green, and they are off from the inside. Now it's the 65 from the second starting spot. One rider's taking a shortcut. Back out front, it's the 88 grabbing the whole shot. He's got company behind him. Renshaw slides into second.
Yeah, Jared Lowe making the most of that start, coming up to third from that second row. Fanders shuts him down there into turn 4. But Evan Renshaw coming in second right now with Chase Sadoff leading him off of 4.
Renshaw, the 265 in his second year in the singles class. Fanders is also in the second year, but he only got one main event. His red flag is down. The 137 going down, that's 137 is Colby Gomery, who started on that second row. Gomery in his first season, he's from Marlette, Michigan. Gomery racing Brian Bigelow entries, getting himself picked up. He's trying to get out of harm's way and possibly trying to get that bike into neutral. The rest of the bikes will come to the hot box, and it looks like the 225 possibly is in that incident, as well as Tyler Cunningham. Those 2 riders are up and appear to be okay. That's good news.
That's great news. The one who did not want to see that is Jared Lowe getting that amazing start off the second row there. He's going to have to try to do that again here on this restart.
I'm assuming it will be a complete restart. Here's the best look we have at it going into turn number 3. A bunch of it going into turn number 3, trying to watch for the wreck. I don't see Gomery at all. They're almost 3 wide. It looks like it's on the right side of the screen. One rider going down right. Yeah, looks like the 137 Gomery, just the back end came around. The other Cunningham had nowhere to go and goes up and over the motorcycle. He does a good job throwing it down before he hits that air fence over there. So not a really bad wreck, but bad enough to bring out the red flag. 2 riders down that first lap. So let's check in with Kristen Beach. She's over there in the hot and the cold box.
Yeah, guys, in Cody Kopp's interview, we mentioned the tear-offs. Well, during that red flag delay, nearly every rider was motioning to their helmet saying tear-offs, tear-offs. They're having to restack tear-offs because they are going through so many right now just to ensure themselves clear vision out on the track.
Very important. You want to be able to see where you're going.
Yeah, what that says to me is during qualifying, we saw some dust a little bit. The track was on the drier end. Obviously, they put down quite a bit of water. You know, if Cody Kopp's out front having to pull tear-offs, track's got some moisture in it now. It looks really good, but slippery, obviously, because Colby Gomery, you know, just going in there like normal, the back end just came around on him, lost grip.
So, and that's probably because these riders haven't been on the racetrack with it this wet yet today. So it will go through changes.
Absolutely. And Colby Gomery, you know, he's a rookie rider out there, and he qualified really well today, starting on that second row, so that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so I don't know. He must have got a bad start because he was near the back when he went down. It's a complete restart with 2 riders on the back row. Heat race number 2, AFT Singles, presented by Kicker Class. Bikes are in gear. Look, you can see the different starting styles. Some riders put the 1 foot down. Some people have both feet down. Here we go. Green is out. It's the 88 Sadoff taking the first corner. Bruner gets a good shot from that second row. He slides into third already.
Bruner doing what he did last night on that restart, able to get a good start here. That's what he needs. He needs a jump start to this week because he hasn't gotten off to where he needed to be today with qualifying. But Chase Sadoff will lead us into turns 3 this time and out. Evan Renshaw getting moved to the side by Fanders coming off of 4.
Braden Fanders, sponsored by Hannum's Harley Davidson, moves into second. Again, he only raced a race basically and a half last year. He gets really sideways right there in second. The back end almost came around on him.
Yeah, Fanders almost came all the way around and ended up going over that berm. He was so sideways, but he's trying to march his way forward and not let Sadoff get away from him.
Top 6 to the main. There goes Sadoff on the 88. He's got plenty of breathing room already. We got Fanders in second. He's from Pennsylvania. And then third right now, another Pennsylvania rider, the 65. That's too tall. Renshaw.
Yeah, and we got one down in the center of 1 and 2 over there. I'm not sure exactly who that is yet. He's getting the bike up there.
Looks like Landon Smith.
Landon Smith. An amazing run last night in the LCQ, but Chase Sadoff doing what he has to do here. He had a tough day yesterday and started his day off tough today.
We are still green. They're still racing. Here's the 88 getting it sideways, taking a look to the right side. There's Fanders, gets really sideways, and here comes the 65 of Renshaw. And right on the right, there goes the 87 down, just a low side. He picks himself up. We're still green racing out here in heat race number 2. It is still Sadoff in the lead. Fanders in second. Renshaw, Bruner, your top 4.
Yeah, on the bubble right now for the 6th and final transfer spot, Evan Kelleher with Aiden Rousevans right on his tail here. Going into turns 3, Aiden Rousevans is going to have to try to move something along here. He's got 4 laps to go.
Top 6 to the main. Battles throughout the pack. We're trying to take a look back at that final transfer spot. That's Jared Lowe, the 63, the big R Racing entry, the Honda, holding off the 31 of Evan Kelleher, who's holding off the 26 of Rousevans. Rousevans needs one more spot. You can see him grabbing tear-offs every chance they get, Colby.
Yeah, it's wet out there. There's a lot of Roos getting thrown up. Aiden Rousevans, I like what he's doing. He's not following Evan Kelleher around the track. He's trying to make some room, but Jared Lowe's kind of got a train behind him with these 3 guys. But Rousevans comes up high. He's going to try to square it off. You know, he elects to go the wide way around. He's not able to finish the pass yet, but he's working him here.
That is that final transfer spot. The 31 to 26 is the white flag is out. It's been shown already to 88. They've got a battle heating up for that second spot. There's your leader. He's checked out by 4 seconds. The Rick Ware Racing entry, Parts Plus. 88 bike coming off that final corner, coming to the checker flag. How about a retaliation right there a little bit by the 88. Sadoff taking the win. Fanders in second, watching for that final transfer spot. Here they come to the line. Bruner in 4th. Jared Lowe and Kelleher gets that final spot, top 6, moving on.
Chase Sadoff with a demanding win there.
That was a big victory for, after the restart even.
And he needed that with the way that today started off with that big crash in qualifying earlier on today, and then last night, unfortunately, ending up going down with Chad Coast there and having a bad, his bike stalled on that first initial start, which made him start in the back of the field. Wow, 4-second win right there in this heat.
A lot going on for the 88 bike. Chase Sadoff's been a wild weekend so far. It's only day number 2, final night here at the Daytona Flat Track. Let's go check in with our winner. Kristen Beats got Chase Sadoff.
Chase and I were just talking. He said, I'm giving and putting out less effort today to win. Why is that changing your game? Why are you better today than you were yesterday because of that?
Sometimes I ride, everybody says give 110%. I give like 150. So sometimes I just need to back it off a little bit. And today I'm focused on that and just trying to be consistent. The team's got the bike working really good. I can't thank Rick Ware and everybody, Parts Plus, and Brian Bigelow and everybody in the team for getting me here. And I'm really excited to actually be up here talking to you guys right now. So first one of the season. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Well done. Congratulations, Chase. As Colby, you said he needed that one.
Yeah, absolutely. He needed that. And he was absolutely right. Knowing Chase pretty well for the past couple of years, he does ride at 150% a lot of the time, and, that can get you into trouble. So backed it down a little bit and still won by 4 seconds. Maybe he's the guy that's going to put it up against the #1, Cody Cobb.
Like you said yesterday and last night, sometimes you got to slow down to go fast here at the Daytona Flat Track. On the track right now, taking a sighting lap, it's the Royal Enfield Build Train Race Program. Your fast qualifier is the 11 of Taya Little. She's from Welland, Ontario, Canada. The 113 is Maticela Rodriguez. She's from Lacey, Washington. Starting third from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the 5, Emma Gott. She was last night's winner. Starting fourth on that front row is the 2, Michaela Nichols from Longmont, Colorado. Row number 2, 28, Maya Maffei. 58, Mallory McGill. 22, Hannah Robertson. And the 35 is Hannah Lang. And on that final row, the 8, Christiana Ross. And the 1A2, Justine Marsh. So we have 10 riders in competition here today. They're all on Royal Enfield's INT 650s with their own flair, their own flash, their own leathers, their own awry helmets.
Yeah, their own paint schemes and their own wheel color setups. The 113 of Rodriguez has been an animal on these starts, getting hole shot after hole shot with all those red flags yesterday throughout the day. Let's see if she's able to continue it on to tonight.
And the winner from last night qualified third. Keep an eye on that 5 machine as well. We got a pretty good group of ladies out here. Some of them in their first year, some of them in their second year. 10-second board is up. They will all make the main event, racing for their starting spot in the main event. Here we go. Heat race. Royal Enfield Build Train Race Program. Taya Little on the pole. Rodriguez, Gotch, and the 2 of Nichols, your front row. RPMs are up, clutches are out. 113, again, just like you called it, grabs a hole shot, but now Gotch around the outside trying to shut the door. It's Gotch in the lead. Rodriguez goes back to second. One rider goes wide. Here they come onto the back straightaway.
Gotch had a little bit of a tougher qualifying today, so she knew she needed to get out front and get ahead of Taya Little, who put down a heater of a lap in qualifying. Ended up qualifying first, but finds herself in third place here coming around for lap 1.
Gotch out in front, trying to take over where she left off last night.
Yeah, she did. She won the race last night, had a good lead. Rodriguez, got the good start here, but Gotch closed down on her and is leading this race.
Taya Little, your fast qualifier, she's sitting back there third. She's watching the riders in front of her, and she'll start applying the pressure right about now. She'll start picking up the pace. That's what she did last year. She just gets comfortable and just, like she's on the end of a tether, just gets faster and faster.
Yeah, and this track tonight's a lot more catered for these bikes. Last night it was extremely rough, and these women were having a hard time with these bikes moving across these bumps. Tonight it is a little bit smoother, a little bit still bumpy coming off the corners, but not nearly as deep of bumps.
And also, we've just heard from Kristen Beach. She's saying it's a little bit wetter than it was last night. Right now, I know the main. Oh, watch, the 113 gets really sideways. Does an excellent job of staying on the motorcycle, and that allows Gotch to sneak away. Looks like she reached up and downshifted a little bit going into turn 1. The 113's got it back under control. It's Rodriguez in second, chasing the 5 of Gotch, and here comes Taya Little on the 11 bike.
Yeah, like Kristen was saying, it is definitely a little bit wet slick, and you could see that when Rodriguez got onto the gas there and spun up a little too much here in the center of turns 3 and 4. We've got a replay of it right here. Yeah, it's just, like you said, wetter tonight. A lot more tear skin use. She just gets on the gas a little hard, and the back end starts to slide around.
And we're talking about the 113. She was right there in second. She has to check up off the throttle. About the same time, Gotch looked like she hit a bump over there off of turn number 4. She has to slow down just a little bit as well. So good shots right there by our cameramen.
Yeah, as they're going on through this race, they're probably taking mental notes of where the smoother line is, because that's all it takes to catch up to the rider in front of you right now. Rodriguez runs it in deep into turns 1 and 2 there, but if they can find a line that's smoother than the others, they can easily start making up a couple tenths a lap.
White flag is out. They're getting into the lap marker right here, the 182. That is Justine Marsh. She goes down 1 lap. Checkered flag will come out. Here's your heat race winner of the Royal Enfield Build Train Race Program. The 5 taking the win. The 113 of Maticela Rodriguez is second. Taya Little is third. Here comes the rest of the riders. Look at this big pack of riders. There's the 2 hanging on that 4 spot. Michaela Nichols, Hannah Robertson on the 22, Mallory McGill on the 58. And that is the final checkered flag for the last lady out there. So they will be coming back in just a little bit for their main event. So one more time, we'll see the Royal Enfields out here at Daytona Flat Track. It's the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona. And now we're going to shift gears up to the premier class. Mission Super Twins are sitting down there in the holding area. Kawasaki will be on the pole. KTM will start second. Honda will start third, and Kawasaki on the outside of the front row. So 3 different brands on that front row.
Yeah, and Henry Wiles sitting on pole right now in that J&M logging race. He's Kawasaki 750. That's a linkage chassis. Last night, I think that paid a lot of dividends with the track being so rough. The suspension on that with the linkage just allows it to move a little bit bigger. But we're going to throw it down to Kristen Beat, who's got a little bit more on Dan Bromley.
As the big boys, as the Super Twins class takes to the track, I checked in with Dan Bromley, and guys, we've been following this story all night long, but he did take his foot out of the boot after the injury that he sustained last night, a small laceration, well, maybe not a small, but a laceration to his left foot. He attempted to clean the foot out. He put it back in the boot for the night. Not only is it stitched, but they also had to duct tape his foot. Guys, these American flat track riders are absolute warriors. He is working through an incredible amount of discomfort here tonight, and we'll cover that story a little later on tonight.
I can only imagine duct taping your foot. I know they try to keep the wound clean. It's got stitches right there, but yeah, Dan Bromley on the 62. He's been fast all week, starting up in Waycross, Georgia at a AMA All-Star National Flat Track Series leading up to the Daytona Flat Track. Keep your eyes on the 62. Dan Bromley in that Suzuki, the only Suzuki in the field. It is heat race number 1, Mission AFT Super Twins, 911 Henry Wiles, 67 Davis Fisher, 48 Trent Lowe. Last bike on the front row is the 29 Billy Ross. 62 Dan Bromley in that second row with James Ott on the 19. Sammy Halbert, always a crowd favorite back there in row number 2. And Justin Jones, the last bike on that second row. Logan McGrain, Eisenhard, John Cox, and Harvitt rounding out your field. Here we go. Mission AFT Super Twins heat race number 1. The top 6 to the main event. The rest come back in one last chance qualifier. Bikes are in gear. Watching for that green light. Clutches are out. Here we go. From the inside, it's Wiles. From near the outside, it's the 48 of Trent Lowe. Lowe trying to shut the door. We got one rider down. That's John Cox. We keep going so far. The 48 in the lead off of turn number 2. Whoa, hang on to it, Wiles. I see red flags, red lights. The red wheeling lights are on, but man, Wiles was on a wild ride coming up to turn number 2, and unfortunately, John Cox going down that first corner. He was right there in that groove, so that brings out our red flag. We'll have a complete restart in this one, but what a hole shot by the 48 of Trent Lowe.
Trent Lowe did not want to see that red flag come out. He had an amazing start, was able to cut down on Wiles, who had a good start too. But, man, what a start by Trent Lowe. We're going to see a replay of it right here.
Yeah, watch Trent starting in that third starting spot. Wiles had a pretty good jump from the inside. Trent Lowe taking to the corner. Watch the left of the screen, the 96 in that back row. Looks like he just gets in almost to the back end of the 91 and does an excellent job just kind of laying it down instead of high side. And Mitch Harvitt does a wonderful job not running into the 96. And you can see the airbag suit deployed right there. And John Cox trying to get that thing woed down. And the bike was right there in the middle of the groove, so he did an excellent job, getting up and getting out of harm's way. But the red flag did come out, and I believe we have a look at the the back straight. We'll watch the 911, Colby.
And Henry Wiles just getting all out of shape there. Somehow is able to stay on top of it. That thing was every way, left, right, and center, man. Holy cow for him to hang on to it. But the Transalp 800 Honda out front.
Man, that was crazy. Good job by the 911 hanging on to it. Let's check in one more time with Kristen Beat. She's down there at the hot box.
Well, guys, I'm not a mechanic by profession, but this fell off of Davis's bike. It was near where he shifts and the peg on the back, so off his shifter. It fell off. The team inserted the shifter back into its place, but this fell out. I'm not sure if he needs it, but he's lining up. I think he might need this, though.
What do you think that is, Colby?
Yeah, it looks like a brake spring, a brake return spring to me. So when you push the brake down, it pushes the pedal back up. Not exactly sure for sure on that. Davis got a bad start, so this is going to be a relief for him to try to get a, all Billy, Trent Lowe, and Henry Wiles all got off the line pretty equal. Trent was able to capitalize the most, but Davis Fisher did not go forward with those guys, so this is a relief for him to get a second shot at this. Hopefully the spring doesn't hamper him too much, but Davis is one of those guys that can overcome something like that.
So you just have to forget that even happened. So here we go, lining them up, complete restart. Oh, there goes the 911 scooting forward. I believe he's having a clutch issue. Looks like he needs a starter. He's putting his hand up. We go with or without you. There's no 2-minute rule anymore.
I don't know if that thing has an electric start. Obviously it doesn't. He's going to need a starter on the side. He's going to have one of his mechanics run over to put a starter, so it's an electric starter motor that will start these bikes up. They'll take the actual starter that comes on these production street bikes off the motorcycle.
Yeah, big piece telling them to get off of the racetrack. It's time to go. There is no longer a 2-minute warning, so you got to get off the racetrack. Wiles is saying he's coming right here.
Yeah, he's.
Unfortunately, we saw this with Sadoff last night.
Yeah, this is. I mean, as a rider, you want to do everything you can to hold up the show and try to get the bike started. But AFT, you got. I mean, the rules are the rules. You got to move the thing off the track, and all these other bikes are getting hot.
That starter shaft just went into the side of that motorcycle. They're trying to get it fired up. They got it fired up. I'm not sure if he will be still legally out there. We'll see. That 29 bike's getting really hot. Here we go. Complete restart. Heat race number 2, Mission AFT Super Twins. Oh, the 29 blew a hose over there on the right side.
No, that's just antifreeze. Okay. That thing is getting way hot, and there's a ton of antifreeze right there on the racing line, so hopefully nobody gets bothered by that on lap 1 coming around. But Trent Lowe gets the start again, but Henry Wiles keeps it a little more calm and takes the lead down the back straightaway.
It is Wiles out front, the 40-year-old, the king of Peoria in the lead. He's got the 48 right there in tow, and look at the battle for third. Sammy Halbert from row number 2 is up to third already.
Yeah, that's going to frustrate Trent Lowe to not get the whole shot again, but also for Henry Wiles to cause that hold up for him to be out front leading now.
Down the back straightaway, 9-11. Henry Wiles got on the podium last night. Trent Lowe on his new steed. He's up into the Mission Super Twins class for the first year. That's Trent Lowe. He's got help from the American Honda team. He's also got help from the Turner Racing Honda, Al Lamb's Honda. You know, there's a lot of people back in that 48 bike.
And we got the 4-time Daytona winner, Sammy Halbert, up to third place on that Kawasaki. Didn't have the best qualifying, coming from the second row here.
And right behind Halbert, another rider's down. It looks like James Ott on the 19. We're still green. He's going to try to get up and get out of the way, but we're still racing until we see a red flag. Now the red flags are out. There's red wheeling lights on, so the 911 is still shown in the lead, but Dan Bromley, the 62 bike, had gotten all the way up to 4th place, Colby.
Yeah, Dan Bromley, maybe, you know, he needed a little bit of adrenaline to get going, to get rid of that foot pain, because we saw it, Kristen alluded to it, but it was no little gash. It's about 3 to 4 toes across of his foot.
Taking a look at the replay, I'm looking for Ott. Looks like he's maybe about the 6th or 7th bike in, and the back end stepping out, and it's just going around, and watch out, the rider right behind him is going to tag him right there. Wow, that's the 91 of Justin Jones. Looks like he mostly hit the motorcycle, but he keeps going somehow, and somehow he keeps on trucking. All right, let's check in with Kristen Beat.
I got them down here with Sammy Halbert. If we have a moment, Sammy, describe the conditions out there.
Well, I couldn't hear you there, but...
Describe the conditions out there for us, Sammy.
I would say it's absolutely bullshit that we're out there racing on this track. The fact that they didn't grade it before putting us out here on these big twins is ridiculous. There's a reason why people are crashing and getting hurt out here. It's totally unsafe, and yeah, it's out of control. So just do my best to stay safe, and hope all the other riders can too, because this is, yeah, it's not cool.
So Sammy not happy with the track conditions right now. That's the 69 Sammy Halbert. He had got all the way up to the 3rd position from that 2nd row. So it's a little bit slippery out there. It's wet, slick, Colby.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are covered in roost. They're going through tear-offs. They're having, I mean, look at Sammy's chest right there. It's completely covered in dirt. I just, you know, I understand the frustration from some of these riders. It happens, you know, and with all these red flags, none of us want to see their comrades going down out there.
Yeah, you don't want to see that in the 911 right now. It's still showing in the lead. Henry Wiles, who stalled it right, or the clutch started creeping right before the light didn't go red.
Yeah, and one thing that was pretty impressive is Justin Jones was able to avoid James Ott somehow, and you know, that's James Ott was looking back at him, just praying that Justin was going to be able to get that thing stopped, and he was barely in time. Kept it running, kept going, but James Ott's up and okay, and that's the main thing here coming out of this red flag.
I do think the 91 hit the 19's motorcycle. Looks like you can see LJ and John over here working on the right side of the screen on the 19 bike. You know, making a few adjustments. That's actually Ott's dad, isn't it, right here? All right, let's check in once again with Kristen Beat, who's caught up with Davis Fisher.
Head back track. Davis, a moment ago you told me there's a little concern for the radiator. You guys aren't usually prepared for this kind of compound on top of the radiator. Some concern over the bikes potentially overheating, but also the tear-offs. How are you managing this race?
Yeah, I mean, we had to add extra cover today. There's a lot of moisture in the track, which makes it sticky, and not a lot of airflow through the radiator. Yeah, the track's, it's pretty good tonight, and yeah, we're just looking to go forward.
Davis, thank you so much. And guys, I want to bring to your attention as we talk about those tear-offs and preserving vision, these are the tear-offs that we talk about. Davis has 1, 2, 3 left on here, but with some remaining laps, managing those tear-offs is going to be just as important.
Yeah, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, Jared Vanderkoy, in the pits, and he was stacking on, trying to get 10 of them on there. The thing is, the more tear-offs you put on there so you can get stacks of 10 laminated, it's not too blurry through there. But if you don't have laminated tear-offs, putting on 10 blurs your vision extremely.
And they're just counting on using 1 or 2 of them as soon as possible, and then it gets to like 8 or 7.
Yeah, and another thing, like conserving tear-offs, you can do a wipe, but wiping the tear-off still smears it. So it's a last-ditch effort.
It kind of looked like the lens on 69 Sammy Halbert's lens was a little bit smeared. I'm not sure if he has any tear-offs left. It looks like he has a couple of them. Now they're trying to get lined up again. The top 6 will go straight to the main event. The rest of them have to come out here and do battle on this track again in that last chance qualifier where we only take the top 4.
Yeah, and with an ever-changing Daytona short track, you know, if you're not able to make it direct out of the heat, you don't want to spend more time than you have to, but at least you get a closer look to what the track's going to be like for the main event.
And again, tip of the cap to the 91 who hit the 19's motorcycle, and it looks like they're putting the 66 near the, oh no, he's, okay, I thought he's putting behind the 19, but the 19's the one that brought out the red flag. They clear off their front number plates so you guys can see them up there in the crowd. We use transponders, so that's just for you folks, and so we can see who they are right here on TV as well. Here we go. Staggered restart. Mission AFT Super Twins heat race number 1. The top 6 to the main. Wiles at the point. Low second. Halbert, Bromley, Fisher, your top 5. Clutches are out. Here comes the 911. Bromley goes to 3rd. Sammy's in 4th. Davis Fisher's going on the outside on the 67 bike.
Davis Fisher making the most of that restart. They're going 2 wide down the back straightaway. Sammy Halbert and Dan Bromley. Davis Fisher goes up the inside of Dan Bromley. There moves him aside a little bit, and Davis Fisher will be running in 3rd.
Davis taking advantage of that. Here comes Sammy Halbert. He's coming right along with him. He's right on the back tire of the 67. Sammy up the inside looking for 3rd down the 69 bike.
Sammy Halbert, a Daytona specialist, doing all he can, using all of his knowledge from previous years to try to get by Davis Fisher and march his way back up to the front row for the main event.
They have their hands so full, I don't think anybody reached up and grabbed a tear off that time. They're getting harder and harder to see on the front straightaway. 911, Henry Wiles, Trent Lowe, a close 2nd. Sammy Halbert hanging on to that 3rd. The battle's heat up for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Trent Lowe trying to make a pass. He doesn't get the drive he needs. He had the line available, but the drive wasn't quite there, and Henry Wiles will continue to lead him here. Trent Lowe got a little bit better of a line. He's coming off super low, but he's not able to get the drives that he needs to go for the lead.
Yeah, it looks like he's spinning up just a little bit that rear wheel. We're talking about the 48 Honda right there in 2nd. Sammy Halbert's in 3rd. Fisher's in 4th. Bromley's in 5th. And Logan McGrain in the final transfer spot. He's got attack coming from Billy Ross.
Logan McGrain getting by Billy Ross to make it, trying to make it direct into the heat race tonight. Had that issue last night in the LCQ.
McGrain's chain came off when he was in a transfer spot in the heat race. It also came off when he got in. It came off in the heat race. He had to, last chance qualifier, went to the main. Chain came off again for the 814 bike.
And Sammy Halbert and Davis Fisher are creeping up on Trent Lowe. Trent Lowe, a rookie in this class this year, still trying to learn this motorcycle, but a phenomenal job to be in 2nd place right now.
Keeping on that final transfer spot. White flag is out. Logan McGrain holding on to it. Billy Ross wants directly into the main event.
Billy Ross completely covered in roost, but he's still got some vision out of that shield, trying to get by Logan McGrain. 3 wide into turn 3 here on the last lap, going up the inside of Trent Lowe. Sammy Halbert Sammy Halbert edges him out, coming to the line here for 2nd place in the heat race.
Incredible run.
Wow.
Wiles taking the win. Halbert coming in 2nd. 67 of Fisher is 3rd. Trent Lowe goes from 2nd back to 4th. Dan Bromley going straight to the main event on the 62 and the 14. Logan McGrain punching his ticket into the main event. The rest of the riders will come back in that last chance qualifier. That was heat race number 1, Mission AFT Super Twins.
Wow, that final corner going in there 3 wide between Sammy Halbert, Trent Lowe, and Davis Fisher. Trent Lowe unfortunately gets shuffled back to 5th place there.
All right, let's go trackside with your heat race winner, Henry Wiles and Kristen B.
Henry talks about the benefits of this linkage chassis. How is it benefiting you out there at Daytona short track?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I don't chassis or just overall setup and the team having a lot of fun, and just at Daytona when races in the premier class. It's really awesome.
Does it feel good to be aggressive again?
Oh yeah, there's really no feeling that really takes the place of racing motorcycles against all the fastest guys in the world at what we do. So the fact that we're out front is pretty awesome. About the only thing that is better than this, is hanging out with my kids and having fun with them. But there's really no place that switches a guy on like this.
Henry, it's great to have you back. Thank you.
He's definitely pumped up about that win. Henry Wiles picking up that heat race win. It's time for the final heat race of the night here at the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona. It's heat race number 2, Mission AFT Super Twins. On the pole, we got a Harley Davidson. It's Briar Bauman, Salinas, California rider. Starting second, last night's winner, 32, Dallas Daniels. The 20 bike, Jared Vandekoy, and another Harley Davidson on the front row. That is the Mission Foods Roof Systems Boswell's Harley Davidson, 44, Brandon Robinson. Row 2, 92 is Price, 18, Whale, 34, Cam Smith, 168, Corey Texter on that third row. 27, Wyatt Vaughn. 54 is Michael Inderbitson. And Daniel Poole with his new national number 11 will start the tail of the field. It's the final qualifying race of the night. First and second place in the main event are starting first and second. Backwards order in this one, Colby.
Yeah, tough heat race right here. Briar Bauman lined up next to Dallas Daniels. Briar leading majority of the race last night. Dallas able to sneak by him towards the end of that race and get the win. Briar Bauman on the XG750 says he's feeling really loose, really good. It's great to be back with David Marshal.
So from the inside out, we got a Harley Davidson, we have a Yamaha, a KTM, and a Harley Davidson. That is the front row. Row 2, Yamaha, Royal Enfield, KTM, and Yamaha in that back row. 3, Kawasaki's. Final qualifying race here at Daytona. Mission AFT Super Twins, 10-second board is up. She will exit the racetrack. The bikes go into gear. They creep up to that starting line. A long light. The 3 on the inside will take him in the first corner. Dallas Daniels goes to the outside. Going to try the long way around. That opens up the door for Vandekoy.
Vandekoy trying to go up the inside of Dallas Daniels. Isn't able to get the drive to the center of the corner, but it'll be Briar Bauman down the back straightaway. Jared Vandekoy trying to take a shot up the inside of Dallas Daniels.
And you might as well take a shot while they're all bunched together. Oh, rider down. Looks like the all-white leathers of Maxwell. He collects another rider. That is the 168 of Corey Texter. C-Tex looks like his leg is underneath the bike. So does Maxwell. The good news is they're right over there by the hot and the cold box. The officials are headed out there right now, and that's a typical first lap carnage pileup.
Yeah, just like they said, let's see a replay of it here exactly. So we got Maxwell coming into turn 3, gets kind of on the edge of the cushion here.
He's in the all-white leathers.
Still going, just starts to lose the rear end. It starts to come around, and just you can't save it at that point. It's
and
just
then
off the edge of the tire, and Corey nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly, and there he's trying to stand it up to miss him. Max trying to put his head down, and wow, Corey runs right up the chest of the 18 bike.
And that's Corey's right leg that got hit on the ground there, and he just got recovered from ACL surgery last year, so hopefully that's okay.
On his right leg.
Yeah, exactly.
So a pileup here in heat race number 2 of the Mission AFT Super Twins. The rest of the bikes have collected over there in the hot and the cold box.
Yeah, it's just Corey had he tried to stand it up to go to the outside of Max, and just the bike went that way, and nothing he could do there. So it's good to see him up and okay now.
Maxwell has walked away, and our medical liaison is actually talking to Corey Texter right now. He's got to get the final approval before he leaves and goes to his motorcycle. That's what happened last night with the 49 of Chad Coase.
Yep, you got to get medically cleared to get back onto the racetrack for your safety and other riders' safeties as well.
Looks like he's holding his left wrist, but again, his right side was underneath that motorcycle, so he's trying to shake it off. Corey Texter from Willow Street, Pennsylvania, is kind of semi-retired. He says, I want to go race Daytona.
Well, he just wanted a challenge, and I had the same thing with my friends trying to put a bug in my ear to get racing again. He said that's the same that happened here.
168 honoring Ryan Barnes, who used to be national number 68.
Yeah, and Maxwell's got his jacket open, trying to get the air out of that airbag vest before we start going again here.
Looks like he's zipping it back up right now. Looks like he had a good job getting that thing deflated. I believe that was the first lap. We'll have a complete restart in this one. The 18, if he can keep going, will go to the back, and the 168 will as well. Let's check in with Kristen B. Kristen, what's happening down there?
Well, guys, I'm being told to get off the track, so I'm running. McGrath is telling me to get off the track, but I went over to check the entry into turn 3 and 4, and it seems as though there's some holes that are developing, and I leaned down to touch the surface. It's kind of gummy. Scotty, Colby, have you guys ever raced on a familiar surface? And when there are holes, how do riders have to navigate the course?
Yeah, I mean, you just, with the holes, you got to try to find the smoothest way through it. And sometimes here at Daytona especially, you can, on the exit of the corners, you can come straight across them and use them kind of as a traction pad to get a better drive down the straightaway. On the entrance, you just, you know, even like with Max Whale there, sometimes you'll hit that shelf coming in where it's just constant bumps, and the bike will never get settled back down.
And a lot of the riders I talk to, you know, the dirt is the same color, whether it's wet or dry. You can see it looks like it's all the same, but obviously it's not, and it's hard to see those holes too when they start to form up here on what they call moon dirt.
Yeah, the only difference you can see is from the cushion. That's the only variation of color, and that's just stacked up dirt, so a second layer of it.
So the 18 and the 168 looks like they will rejoin us. They're going back to that penalty line. Again, they still can make it directly to the main event. Texter goes to the outside. Max Wells pulling up on the inside, the all-white machine, all-white leathers on the 18. The Royal Enfield. New ride for the 18.
And right there, a guy that we haven't seen a lot from yet today or yesterday, but the 92 of Brandon Price, an absolute player here last year. I expect this track to be a little bit more his style, a little more hang it out sideways kind of night. You're a little less rough, but it is definitely wet slick tonight. And here we go for the restart of heat race number 2 for the Mission Super Twins class. And the light is green, and Briar Bauman will grab the whole shot again.
32 slides into second. Dallas Daniels, Van de Kooi. Look at Robinson going around the outside. The 44 trying the long way around. He cuts right in front of his good buddy, the 20 of Van de Kooi. He takes over third. Now he's looking for second.
Robinson sneaks up the inside of Dallas Daniels there, and Brandon Price, like I just mentioned, getting feisty out here. Jared Vanderkook comes off the bottom, but Dallas Daniels sneaks back around the outside of B-Rob.
Here comes Price going to the high side. He's trying the long way around. He makes the pass on the 20 bike. Now he'll set his sights on the 44 Harley Davidson of Robinson. Right now it's the other Harley Davidson, Briar Bauman, in the lead of this one. He led the first 22 laps last night. The 32 caught him at the very end and won. So first and second last night are running second and first here in this heat race.
Yeah, we've seen this unfold before. Briar Bauman out front, and Dallas Daniels trying to go to work to hunt Briar Bauman down, doing the same exact lines. Oh, and Brandon Price gets in the wall and goes down on the back straightaway.
That started hard off of turn number 2. It got really sideways off of 2, and then back and forth, and then up into the wall. And the red flag has come out again. Right now, it's the 92 of Brandon Price hitting the dirt right from Memphis Shades, Michael Sponseller, and OTB Racing. And that was a wild ride that took a long time for that to happen. And he finally ended up at the end of the back straightaway, or actually, yeah, almost the end of the back straightaway. So a long wreck developing all by himself. Again, coming off of 2, into the wall, into the deep stuff, then bouncing back off the wall. And at that point, the 92 was just hanging on.
Yeah, Price was making a big push for the front. He was running in 4th when that incident happened.
And he's actually coming for 3rd. He was trying to get by Brandon Robinson, and, you know, no harm, no foul as a racing incident. I didn't see any contact with any of the other riders, but he just went up the racetrack and touched that back straightaway wall. Let's check in with Kristen Beat, who's caught up with JV20, Jared Van de Kooi.
Well, let's start, guys. This is an idea of what the riders who aren't running in first are dealing with. This is literally the number plate. You cannot even see the number plate. They're facing quite a few issues out there. But Jared, tell me about that run for you and the restart.
Yeah, the track's very treacherous right now. It's, you know, the moisture's coming up and there's a lot of moisture in the dirt, so super slippery. I don't know what they're going to have to do. Maybe dig it up a little bit, get this polish off the top, and yeah, it's very treacherous because there ain't no traction. Then all of a sudden you grab the bottom of those holes and they're pretty deep. So yeah, just trying to get a safe race in here and trying to get in that dash.
But as a rider, how are you having to navigate this course? How are you strategizing?
Just trying to be smart and patient. That's what it is. I need to get off of these guys and yeah, click off my laps, and yeah, it's very muddy out there, so trying to stay out of the roost and get clear vision.
Talking big picture, entering this season, you guys had a program that you had more time to build out this off season than you had in previous seasons. How good is it to step onto a bike and with a team that you can really grow with throughout the year?
Yeah, this whole fast track racing team has just been nothing but great to me. You know, got this deal going this past November and haven't looked back with it, so we're learning as we go, and yeah, just having a great time. It's good people. Surround yourself with good people, and we're going to have some fun, and hopefully the results come.
Well, usually I say brush your shoulders off, but you might want to brush the front off so you can see the logos on there. Jared, thank you.
Good job, Kristen. JV, Jared Vandekoy was very candid right there. As we were talking to him, Brandon Price stood up. Now he's back down on his knee, gathering his thoughts and it's getting his breath together. But yeah, it is very muddy out there. As you can see, Kristen was actually sliding her fingers across that number plate, scraping the wet, sticky stuff off that number plate.
I was very surprised to see it when she did slide her fingers across there, how it was actually sticking to her fingers, showing the amount of moisture that's actually in there. Daytona short track is extremely slick, let alone. But with the moisture that's been put down and then the moisture coming up, like Cody Kopp said, we're at sea level. So the moisture's starting to come up, it's cooling down outside, and this track is so slippery right now for these riders. They're doing all they can just to navigate around it. Yeah. But another point to touch on that Jared Vanderkoy brought up, not only is it slippery, but when they start coming off these corners, they hit the holes. They're hitting the holes, and the bikes are making bumps, getting upset, and that's what started this process, unfortunately, for Brandon Price.
Yeah, it started way off of turn number 2, and he went up and hit the wall and just was along for the ride at that point. We got a special guest in the house tonight. He actually rode here on Wednesday. Kristen Beat, who'd you find?
Well, I've never been more relieved to see an interview I can trust like JD Beach. JD, thanks so much for joining us down here. One of our favorites. You were sorely missed in the American Flat Track Series paddock, but a couple days ago, I don't know how much we can talk about this, but it was posted on social media. You guys were testing some audio systems and some comm systems.
Yeah, it's something that AFT wants to start using just to kind of help with safety and stuff like that. And I think safety is super important for racing, and it's really cool that they're taking steps to move that way. And it's still in the beginning stages, but it's something that I think will help the riders a lot. But also down the road, it could be something where the fans could listen in and see what the riders are saying and all that stuff. And the only way to get there is to start somewhere. So it was an honor to get asked to come and do it. And I got to ride the Daytona short track, which was awesome. So yeah, it all worked out.
I've always progressive safety measures of the American Flat Track Series. And JD, I mentioned us missing you. You had mentioned to me that maybe later this season we could see racing here in the American Flat Track Series again, but I also know you're training for road racing.
Yeah, we're still working on my road race deal right now. We're not quite finalized with that, but once our season gets going, I'd always love to come out here and do some races, and I still need that mile win to get the Grand Slam. So I'm not walking away until I at least try and get that. But we've got some work to do before we can get there. But never say never.
I hope that is a nice little tease that we might see him later on this season on a mile. And by the way, JD is also Dallas Daniels and Tom Drain's training partner during the offseason.
Good job down there, Kristen. It's always cool to see JD Beach out here. So the 92 has got up. He's walked himself back to the motorcycle. He's putting tear-ups on his helmet. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to restart this one. Let's take a look at how we got here. Watch the third and the fourth bike. Here he comes into the wall. Jared Vandekoy goes by. It hucka-bucks him, and here he comes and slam right there on the back, and he's upside down and hanging on to it. And, man, that was a wild ride for the 92. It almost stood perfectly upside down, but it tips over onto its right side. Here's another look at it up against the wall. Vandekoy barely misses him, Colby.
Yeah, it hits that wall and it just starts snapping back and forth on the frame. He starts to go over, and man, this is a violent one right here. So it is amazing to see him not only get up, but to be putting tear-offs on his helmet to go for a restart here. Luckily, airbag suit, he's gotten a Rye helmet on, the best safety equipment. AFT's been doing a great job in the past few seasons to get this equipment out there.
Yeah, it started coming up at 2, and just, right here, just a hard slam and up and over, and that 92 bike lands right there beside him. The good thing is that the bike never hit him, so that's what the cause of this red flag is. We'll have a restart. Looks like we have 2 laps completed, and here they come, the 3. Harley Davidson, Briar Bauman will lead them. Be the first one on that front row. Dallas Daniels will start second. Robinson will start third. Price was running fourth. That will open up that slot, and I believe Jared Vandekoy will slide into that 4th position. The top 2 will make it to the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge race, which will also put them on the front row of the main event, and I don't see the 92 making it out there, unfortunately, so hopefully he'll be able to come back in that last chance qualifier. Get them lined up. Harley-Davidson, Yamaha, Harley-Davidson, and a KTM, and another KTM. We haven't even talked about Cameron Smith that much tonight. He's got the Ryan Varnes Racing Schaefer's Motorsports KTM up there in that 5th position.
Yeah, and he's right now in a transfer spot going straight to the heat race. Last night he had to do it the hard way through the LCQ. Briar Bauman with one of the only clean number plates out there. Brandon Robinson got his wipe down,
and clean leathers.
Clean leathers. He's got a couple hole shots tonight. He's got the breath guard, and here we go.
Restart Mission AFT Super Twins heat race number 2. Let's try it again. The 3 on the inside. Briar Bauman lets the clutch out. He'll lead him in the first corner. Dallas Daniels is there. Robinson slides into 3rd. Van de Koy's got company. The 34 Cam Smith looking for that 4th position.
Dallas Daniels going up the inside down the back straightaway here. He's going to take a shot, but Briar gets a better run. Brandon Robinson running in 3rd. Wyatt Vaughn from deep. Oh, that's Jared Van der Koy, excuse me, running in 4th right now.
Yeah, but Vaughn's coming as well. Cam Smith's got company up the inside. We're looking for all these riders. Top 6 is what we have room for. Briar goes wide. Dallas Daniels trying the low line off of turn number 2. Here comes the 32.
Right now, Briar's keeping that higher line. He's losing a little bit of time through the corner, but he makes it up down the straightaway with that better run. Dallas Daniels running the tightest line possible on that inside berm.
It's the 3 of Briar Bauman, the 32 Dallas Daniels, the 44 of Robinson, Van de Koy on the 20 bike, and Cam Smith, your top 5. And right now on the bubble is the 27 of Vaughn, and Maxwell from the back of the pack. He needs one more spot to go straight to the main event.
With Briar riding that higher line, he has to be so precise because if he makes any mistakes, he'll lose a bunch of time to Dallas Daniels run on the lower line. But I think Dallas Daniels actually might have moved up that last lap by.
The 18 gets the spot at the line. Maxwell from the ground on the restart has worked his way up to a transfer position. Oh, and the 27 of Vaughn gets really sideways up to turn number 2. He checks up on the throttle. That opens up. The top 6 are pulling away. Now the 18 is going after the 34 of Cam Smith.
Yeah, the 18 of Maxwell working on getting a little bit. And you can just see that the vision is terrible here. Maxwell completely rolled off of the gas to pull 2 tear-offs there going into turn 1.
Reaches up and grabs another one. You can see you got to do it with your left hand. The right hand stays on the throttle. Here's the battle for the lead. The 32 looking up the inside. Briar slips wide. Watch out. Wow, 32, what a save. Almost got into the backside.
And this is white flag coming down the back straightaway here. Dallas Daniels doesn't even think about what just happened. He's going to run it off in here and slide up in above Briar Bauman. Briar Bauman cuts down low to try to come to the checkered flag, but Dallas Daniels will have the position and stalk him just like last night and grab the win here in Heat Race 2.
What a last lap for the 32 of Dallas Daniels picking up the win. Briar Bauman will hang on to second. Man, what a last lap. I cannot wait to see some replays of this one. And how about Maxwell from coming off the ground from one of the restarts to make it into that final transfer spot? Your win of the 32, Dallas Daniels. Max is definitely winded right there. You can see him trying to catch a breath down that back straightaway, shaking things off. That's it for our qualifying heat race action here tonight. We'll have one quick interview. We'll take a break and we'll get ready for some semifinals and as last chance qualifiers. Some challenge races are coming up. But before we get to that, let's hear from our heat race winner, Dallas Daniels, last night's winners with Kristen B.
Dallas, I'm curious, were you trying out different lines or were you trying to win? What was the goal there?
I was just trying to survive out there, man. It's so slippery and we're spinning the rear wheel so much that when you catch them ruts, it really wants to take you right. And I was trying not to run into Briar, and man, he cut down to try to block going into turn 1, and I reacted to the old boys and lost my breath for a second. Had to regroup myself, and I felt like I had a few good lines, but it's just so easy to make a mistake. And yeah, I gotta go back, get some water, reset, be ready for the dash.
Well, thank you for that elaborate retelling, Dallas.
Yeah, when you get up on those bumps, it kicks you up onto that gas tank right there, and you just have to hang on, Colby.
Yeah, and so impressive for him to be able to collect himself and not even think about that issue. Like he said, he had that little issue there with the boys going into turn 1, and to be able to come back and still defeat Briar Bauman.
All right, so the track crew is out there. The Cat Rental Store bringing out the heavy equipment. We'll do some track maintenance. Grab yourself something to eat. Stop by that souvenir stand. We got a lot going on. Remember, if you bought a ticket into the grandstands, you can go into the pit area. Just please be careful. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more racing right here at the Royal Enfield Short Track at Daytona.